Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started, everyone. Good morning. It's a little after 11 a.m. here in California. My name is Vince. Just want to welcome you to this presentation of Novedge's Best of the Best webinar series. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. We're excited not only to present Retrieve Technologies training and certification, but to have Director of Operations Oscar Wall on board with us. Before we get started, I just want to give a little background on Oscar. As I said, he's the Director of Operations at Retrieve Technologies. He couples his experience in cloud-based software development with an education from the Royal Institute of Technology, based in Stockholm, Sweden, and the New England College in New Hampshire. So yeah, he's great. He's the best at what he does. He knows Retrieve in and out. Oscar's going to speak for the next 40 minutes or so. During that time, everyone will be in listen-only mode, but please feel free to send your questions into the question box. At the end, we'll open things up for a Q&A just to wrap things up. So having said all that, before I forget, we will be recording this webinar, and it will be made available. I'll give complete details as soon as Oscar is finished. But yeah, having said that, I want to turn over to Oscar so we can jump right into his presentation. Oscar, are you there?
Yes, I certainly am.
Okay, cool. I'm going to switch the screen over to you, and you can take it from there.
Excellent. I hope everyone can see my screen. Vince, maybe you can confirm that you can see it.
Yeah, I can see your screen. I don't know if the audio, you could turn a little up a little bit.
Certainly.
It's just a little quiet, but yeah, the screen looks great.
I think that's the best I can do here as far
Okay.
as the audio goes. But I try to speak up as well.
Okay, cool, yeah. But yeah, so you sound good anyways. All right.
Excellent. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining, and thank you for the opportunity to present here. My name is Oscar Wall, and today I will be giving you a relatively brief overview of the end-user interface of the Retrieve Technologies training and certification platform. We're going to be looking at the platform itself, the user interface, and of course also look at some of the training content that's available on the platform itself. What I'm going to do here in just a second is sign into my digital library, which is my individual portal, where I have access to the cloudDVD, which is our name for the training software, where I have access to my cloudDVDs that I have acquired in one way or another, particularly via buying them from the Novedge online storefront. So I'm going to go ahead here and sign in without further ado, and I will comment along the way. And just as Vince said at the beginning of the call, please enter your questions into the question box in the GoToWebinar software, and we will get to that at the end of this. I'm hoping to do this for about 25 to 35 minutes or so, and I'd like to have as many questions as possible from you to answer at the end. So rather answer questions than give a pre-scripted demo. So without further ado, I will sign in here to my digital library. And again, this is the end user portal. You can see at the top here that it's my own individual digital library, which means that I have my own unique configuration of cloudDVDs in here. And the cloudDVDs, again, are the training modules. Very shortly here, I'm going to open the cloudDVD up to show you what it looks like and what format this video-based training content is in. But before I do that, I wanted to just show you by scrolling down here on my screen that in my digital library I have access to a lot of different cloudDVDs because I purchased them or they've been given to me by my company or I've registered for them or gotten them for free from buying a particular software product, let's say. So there's a lot of ways you can get the cloudDVDs into your digital library. But in this case here, you're looking at a small subset of all of the cloudDVDs that are available on the platform. So we might be looking at about 40 or so of the cloudDVDs here. But certainly there is cloudDVDs on all the major AutoDesk applications. dating back all the way to the 2008 version of the AutoDesk software. So that means, of course, AutoCAD 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And certainly we have all of the 2012 versions documented, and we have training courses on them as well. The level of the training courses ranges as well from essentials training or introductory training to very advanced topics on the various applications. There's also training content on non-AutoDesk software, but related topics. For example, as you can see at the top here, there's a course, an introduction course to 3D laser scanning, which of course isn't related directly to an AutoDesk product, but it certainly discusses how to get that data into the AutoDesk software as well. Similarly, there are topics on surveying and on BIM concepts in general to round out the general offer. And beyond that, we also have training modules or cloudDVDs on completely different topics such as Microsoft Office, IT management, the Adobe products in the Creative Suite series. So beyond just the CAD content that we'll be looking at today, and the AutoDesk content specifically, just wanted you to keep in mind that there is training content in the same format as you will be seeing today on a number of related and maybe not so related topics. So again, this is my digital library where I have my cloudDVDs. When you purchase cloudDVDs from the Novedge store, they will end up in your own digital library. If you are interested in this solution for your entire company, you can certainly contact either Novedge or Retrieve directly, and we can discuss corporate solutions where the content will be purchased by the company you represent and distributed to the end users and the individuals at the company. But again, if you buy content from the Novedge store, it will end up in your digital library, and that's what you're seeing on the screen here. You can rearrange your cloudDVDs on the different shelves by simply dragging and dropping them. You can also create new shelves, and you can turn shelves on and off by simply clicking on them over here in the left-hand side. And certainly you can also rename shelves or delete shelves using these buttons over on the right. I will show you a little bit more about the digital library interface itself in a little bit. We'll go into searching and the settings screen and the widgets area here. But at the beginning, I wanted to open up the cloudDVD to show you what the content itself looks like. And I'm going to choose this new features in Civil 3D 2012 title. I'm going to open it by simply clicking on it. So you can see here that I have my digital library open behind here, but this particular cloudDVD is now open in a new window. This is the general interface of a cloudDVD. You have a table of contents over on the left-hand side, you have an index over on the right-hand side, and a search bar at the top, via which you can search the topics of this particular cloudDVD, or the contents of this particular cloudDVD. As you noticed before, there's also a search bar at the digital library level, which lets you search across all of your cloudDVDs. So you can do more powerful searches that way. But this search bar here will search the contents of this particular cloudDVD. This again is a course on the new features in Civil 3D 2012, and if we scroll down a little bit here on the table of contents, you can see that it touches on a number of different topics. And if I just pick a page in the super elevation chapter from the table of contents, you can see that the central area is now replaced with a video. In this case, it's a 66-minute long video because that's how long the super elevation lesson is. But as you can see on the screen here, it starts playing at the appropriate time where the profile grade line adjustment is discussed. So even though it's a 66-minute long video, you can see that it starts playing the video at the 53-minute mark because that's when profile grade line adjustments are discussed. And if I'm pausing the video here for a second, I'm going to go to full screen mode and start playing it again actually. You can see that this is the topic that, or this is the format that you're seeing all of the training in. We're using green screen technology to capture the presenter. We are then streaming it in high definition streaming video to you. I know this is going across GoToWebinar, so it might look a little choppy to you, and I apologize for that. But I hope you can see that and take my word for it, that the clarity of the image and the smoothness of the playback is extremely good when you're accessing it off of your own computer. By using green screen technology, we get the opportunity, of course, to put the presenter in the training content itself. We also can show the, in this case, the Civil 3D 2012 AutoDesk application behind the presenter, and we can do so at a very crisp and high resolution, high detailed level. So I hope you can see here that you will have no problem at all following along in the Civil 3D interface as the instructor is working through the different lessons and discusses the different topics and demonstrates it very hands-on in the application. And this is very typical of the format of the training content, but also the methods used. So most of the training content is made up as a combination of maybe 10 to 15% PowerPoint presentations, conceptual overviews, etc., and around 85 to 90% of hands-on in the application type training that you're seeing on the screen here now. In the cases of, for example, a surveying topic, when that is being those topics are being taught or those lessons are being discussed, there's of course also real live footage from from the field showing actual surveying tasks being performed in the field. So there you have the three different types of content: PowerPoint presentations with a green screen overlay, hands-on in application lessons, and footage from the field when applicable. And as you can see here, this is made up out of, this particular cloudDVD is made up out of approximately 10 chapters or 10 major topics. And the videos differ in range from, in this case, 6 minutes for the supervision chapter down to maybe 20 to 30 minutes for some other chapters. But all in all, there is a lot of content, and if you want to use a rule of thumb, each cloudDVD is usually equivalent to 1 day of classroom, traditional classroom training. If you want to pick a topic from the index, you certainly can do that to navigate the content as well. So if I was interested in labels, specifically rotating labels, I can pick that topic from the index, and it finds that spot in the table of contents. In this case, it's a link to an AutoDesk video showing the content. But if we, for example, look at a topic like style, and I'm specifically interested in importing styles, you can see that it finds that topic in the table of contents. And in this case, it's a video lesson. It's a 21-minute long video in this case, and it starts playing it around the 1-minute mark in this case, because this is where the instructor is talking about style. So by using green screen technology, I wanted to make one additional point here. We're asking the presenters to deliver the training classes just as if they were in a room full of people. This means that the trainers are going through the content and the outline of the course exactly the same way, using the same tools and the same methods to convey the training and the message. Hopefully this also translates to you as an end user, where you can sit back, go to full screen mode, and play the video and follow along just as if you're sitting in an auditorium or in the back of a classroom. So we really feel that we can mimic the classroom training experience this way, as closely as possible, at least online. There are also features in the application that lets you ask questions of the instructor. Of course, this isn't live, so you won't get an answer right away. But by asking the question, the instructor will get back to you, or even in some cases add an additional video to the particular cloudDVD discussing or answering your question. So you may benefit from additional videos over the lifetime of the cloudDVD, because other people have asked important questions that the instructor has answered and supplemented the already existing videos with new ones. Lastly, I wanted to show you how you can search from this particular cloudDVD. If we, for example, search for the word curve, that brings back a number of different results. And if you click on one, again, the same thing happens as if you clicked it from the index or the table of contents. It finds the spot in the table of contents, loads the video. And in this case, it's, again, a 20-minute video that starts playing around the 18-minute mark, because that's when curve midpoints, in this case, is discussed and demonstrated in the application. Before I close this down, I wanted to give you another idea of how the content can be consumed by you. You can start at the very beginning of the table of contents and work your way through each of the pages all the way down to the bottom. If you do that, you have gone through the training course, of course, in the same order and according to the same outline as if Andrew Walter, who's the presenter of this particular course, would teach it in the classroom. But you can, of course, also use it as a reference tool if you just need a 5-minute update on a particular topic. You can open your cloudDVD, perform a search, pick a topic from the table of contents or from the index, and consume your training quickly, and then be back in this case, Civil 3, and being back to work. So it's both a start-to-finish training tool that lets you mimic the classroom experience, or the experience of being in a on-site classroom class, as well as a reference tool that lets you quickly get quick answers to your questions. So I close that cloudDVD down by clicking on it, and again, you can see my digital library here on the screen. And next, I wanted to talk about the search functionalities from the digital library level. So if I perform a search, the very first video we looked at today was something that had to do with grade lines. If I perform that search from the digital library, you can see that it brings back results from a number of different cloudDVDs, and it shows you, it brings back the pages, and it shows you where in the table of contents you will be ending up when you click on the links. You even get preview videos over on the right-hand side here. So in this case, the purple grade line adjustment video is at the very top, and you can just get, again, back to using this as a reference tool. You can use this as and get a very quick peek at the content by clicking on the peek option from the search results, from the search results. In this case, it again opens that video, but it doesn't open it with the entire cloudDVD interface. It opens it straight to this video. But again, it shows you the video from the appropriate starting point, of course. If you want to open the entire cloudDVD and look at the results that way, you click on the top link here for the result. It again opens the cloudDVD up. Now you get the full interface with the table of contents and the index, finds that spot in the table of contents, and starts playing the video at the appropriate time. So a couple of different ways to get access to your content. Now let's perform a much more generic search. So if I just search for line, for example, from the search bar here, you can see that it brings back results from a number of different cloudDVDs here, even from, in this case, some Microsoft Office 2010 content. And if the content is too much, you can limit your search by unselecting certain shelves. So this cloudDVD here, AutoCAD for the MicroStation user, is bringing back a lot of results for the search line. If I hide the AutoCAD category by clicking on it over here, you now see that you get those search results are now excluded, or that cloudDVD is excluded from the search, and thereby the search results are excluded as well. So now you get you can see a list of results from other clouds. Similarly, if you want to see the results again, you can certainly turn them back on. Now it reperforms the search, and it includes that cloudDVD search result. So the search from the digital library level only includes the cloudDVDs that are currently visible on your screen or with the shelves that you have turned on. This is a very helpful tool for you to narrow your searches down and get down to particular topics if you have a lot of cloudDVDs in your digital library. You also, of course, have advanced search functionality, but first I wanted to show you a couple of things about the interface here that's called Widget. Both on the home page and on the search results page here, you have an area at the top that's reserved for widgets. These widgets are different tools that you yourself can enable via your settings page. I have 3 of them enabled at the moment. They, for example, in one of them is very simple that it controls how my search results are displayed. So if I didn't want to see the book image on my search results because I prefer to just see a list, I can turn it on and off here. Same thing is true for the preview, video, etc. But I also have the recent searches widget that keeps and remembers the searches that I've performed. So in this demo here, I've searched for line and grade line, and you can see those results here, and I can just click on one to get back to that search specifically. And I have the search help on, which just basically provides you with some links to help the content. The same is true if I go back to the home page. In this case, I have 2 widgets, a recently viewed and a help widget. Once the recently viewed widget is visible, if I click to open a new cloudDVD, you can see that, in this case, I clicked on the introduction to 3D laser scanning. You can now see that the recently viewed widget remembers that for the next time you sign into your digital library, so you can pick up where you left off from your last session. Let's talk a little bit about the advanced search, just so that, again, using this as a reference tool, you can certainly quickly find content and perform very advanced queries. You simply use this form here, and you fill it out the way you want to search for something. So if I want to search for all of the words grade line, you can see that it constructs the query here. Let's say that I don't want to include the word AutoCAD. I can do that. And you can also include exact phrases or words that in the OR format, so either or one of these words. When you're done, you perform the search, and as expected, it brings back results from a number of different cloudDVDs, and it adds the search to your recent searches widget as well. So again, here you can see the search. There are 2 other things that I wanted to highlight here in this demo, and then we can open it up to questions. I wanted to show you the My Settings page. If I go over here, you have a number of different items that you can enable or disable for your account. The first ones are very trivial. You can, for example, change your password, of course, and manage your profile. But if we get down a little bit further down to the preferences, you can choose how you want your cloudDVDs to open. If you want them to pop up in a new window, which is the default, or if you want to keep them in line on the page. If I scroll further down here, you can see that this is where you control your widgets. And as you can see here, we have some widgets that let you access your Google Docs or your Google Calendar, for example, from the widget section. You can also decide where in your digital library you want the widgets to show up. And if we scroll down a little bit further, there are applications that you can download to have easy access to your digital library anywhere. The digital library launcher installs shortcuts in your start menu and adds an icon to your desktop, for example. The browser search lets you include your digital library into the browser's built-in search bar, meaning that you don't even have to be signed into your digital library. You can just be on any web page anywhere, type it in your browser's search bar, and thereby log into your digital library and perform that search automatically, so you can have quick access to your digital library from the browser, no matter what web page you're on. And then, of course, we also have the mobile applications, both in the Android marketplace and in the Apple App Store. You can simply search for Retrieve Technologies or Digital Library and find and download the appropriate application for your phone, whether it's the iPhone app or iPad app or an Android application for your Android device. So further down here, you have the reports section where you can run reports on all of your content, and this is an activity report you can run on your own usage to track that. For example, I was on the Civil 3D 2012 content here, so I'm going to choose to run a report on just those topics. I'm going to run that report here now. And you can see that it brings back results from the various cloudDVDs on that shelf, and particularly I was in the Civil 3D 2012 New Features title. I looked at 7 pages apparently, and I can even see which pages I looked at more specifically. For example, the profile grade line adjustment was certainly one of them that I just viewed. So you can run these reports on your own usage and keep track of it. If this is implemented in a corporate setting, like I mentioned at the beginning, we can certainly support a corporate implementation of this tool. You can, administrators can of course run similar reports for all of their content and all of the users in that corporate account. But this is just a sample of what an end user can run on his or her own usage. The last thing I wanted to go into a little bit here, and I'm going to go back to my digital library screen, is the certification. Having some internet connection issues. I hope you can still see my screen.
Yeah, we can still see it.
There we go. There was just a little hiccup here. So I'm back at my digital library, and I wanted to talk about some of the certification features. With a lot of these courses, you will see that you get a proof of completion certification exam that goes along with it. So if, for example, we look here at the AutoCAD LT 2012 course, it's a 2-day course, and as I mentioned before, one cloudDVD is approximately 1 day of training. So this is it's a 2-day course in a classroom setting. It's a 2-volume cloudDVD course for AutoCAD LT 2012 Essentials. The content is the same as what I showed you in the Civil 3D 2012 New Features title. The same format, of course, and along with it comes a proof of completion exam. I'm going to click on that to open it up. And the proof of completion exam is basically a test that goes along with the course itself. If you as an end user complete it, you can download a certificate that proves that you have completed the course. And this has a lot of benefits to you, but let's start, and I'll get into those a little bit later, but let's start at looking at just the requirement for passing this very simple test. So the first requirement, which is something you can't see on the screen, but which is a requirement, is that you have to watch at least 70% of the videos from the AutoCAD LT 2012 Essentials Training course. Once you watch that much video, you have passed the first requirement. The second requirement is to score at least 7 out of 10 on this 10-question simple multiple choice test. I've already taken it. If I go to question 1 here, you can see what the questions look like. In this case, it's a very simple textual question, and you answer from a number of different answer alternatives. There might be multiple choice or true or false type questions in this case. Once you've answered all 10 questions, you submit your test. And if you have both watched the 70% of the video from the from the cloudDVD course and got at least 7 out of 10 of the questions correct, you have then passed the proof of completion exam, and you can download your certificate. So if I click on the check certification status button at the top here, because I've completed those 2 requirements, I can now download my certificate, and I'm going to do that real quick here. It's a PDF, and I'm just going to click on it to open it. This is something that you can, of course, download and print, and I just did this before this demo here, so you can see today's date and my name. These are dynamic fields that will be filled in with your information, of course, when you have completed it. So this is a proof of completion certificate for that AutoCAD LT Essentials training class. This PDF, if you print it out, it's then a certificate that you can use around your office, and etc. But next I want to show you one of the features that is pretty unique to our platform. So I'm going to close this certificate exam down, and I'm back now at my digital library, and I just recently ran a report here showing, and you run this, I should say, from, I wanted to show you how you can get to it. From the My Settings page, it takes a second to compile, that's why I already pre-run it. But from the certification report section here, you can run a public report, and if you click Run Report, you'll end up with this report here. In my case, I've completed 3 certification exams, and if I click on one of them, I'll get this little box that tells me the details of that. So as you can see, I completed it today, and here's my score, and I can also download the certificate. And you might wonder why that is relevant to you. You already know that you have passed that exam, of course. But what's interesting is that you can share this report. This link here that you see at the top, if you send that in an email to your supervisor, for example, or someone else in your office, if they click on it, they end up on this. If I were to send this to you, you would end up on this exact page where you can see my certificate. This means that I can include this in my on my LinkedIn profile, for example, or in my resume. And it's also something, of course, like I said before, you can share with your supervisor. If someone follows the link from your LinkedIn profile or from your resume or from the email you send, they end up on this very page right here where they can see which certificates you passed, they can see your score, and they can even download the certificates themselves. So that's sort of the incentive for you to not only complete the training course, but also answer the questions in this accompanying proof of completion certificate exam to get your certificate and be able to share it via this link here, or again on your LinkedIn profile or resume. All certification exams that you pass will show up on this report, which means that over time you might end up with quite a few of these certificates, which will look very attractive to your supervisor or a future employer, let's say. Vince, I believe that is everything that I had prepared to show here. We have about, I guess, 25 minutes left or so of the time, and if you want to open it up for questions or read me some questions, that would be great.
Yeah, let's do that. The first one's from Chad. I can answer half of this question, I guess. He was wondering, does Novedge offer a discount rate for students? We don't. I don't know, Oscar, do you guys offer a discount for students on your end?
We retrieve sales primarily through resellers, and we leave it up to each reseller, like Novedge, to student discount. We don't offer it ourselves because we don't want to compete against any particular reseller, but it's certainly something that, from a technical standpoint, the storefront, etc., support. But I guess I'm afraid the answer is no for individual students.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is we definitely have the lowest price around on all retrieve platforms. I mean, if you had any other questions as far as pricing, you could feel free to email me. We'd love to answer that for you. So here, let's jump in the next one here. You sort of answered this during your presentation, but it's from Jennifer. How long does it take a typical user? Excuse me. How long does a user typically take on a course or topic? And then, is there a way for my staff to see? Or is there a way for her to see how much time her staff is spending on each course?
Yes, absolutely, and I'm glad I got that question because I have made this presentation primarily for individual users here, but this is of course a corporate implementation related question, and for corporate implementations there is a whole administrative interface, and I'm more than happy to give a follow-up demo with Jennifer if she can contact you, Vince, or contact us directly.
Yeah, definitely.
On the admin interface, because you've only seen the end user side here, but the administrative interface includes very granular reporting capabilities where you can see individual users' progress or groups of users, all users, and get summary reports, and even see spot trends in usage, so you can see which cloudDVDs are most frequently used, and even what pages or topics from the table of contents are most often accessed, and for how long users have been on them, et cetera, et cetera. And it also includes all of the certification or proof of completion exams in the report, so you can see how many users have completed each course, how many of them, what score they got, which questions they got right or wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So very, very granular reporting.
Okay,
and from
cool.
that interface is also where an administrator of the tool would manage which users have access to which cloudDVDs, et cetera, et cetera. So a corporate administrator has a lot of control over the user accounts and, of course, also access to a lot of reports.
Okay, cool. Here's another follow-up from Jennifer. Is the certificate ATC certified?
It depends a little bit. The one that I just showed you, the AutoCAD LT 2012, is not. It's not a certificate for sort of excellence in AutoCAD LT issued by AutoDesk directly. It's a proof of completion for this particular course that's offered on cloudDVDs. Now, Autodesk offers, at this point, I believe it's 4 or 5 different official courses that are recorded with Autodesk instructors in cloudDVD format. And for those, the corresponding certificate would be Autodesk certified or Autodesk approved, so to speak. But for the one I showed you here, and at this point, for a majority of the certificates, they are not official in that sense. But they are all conformed, and they all comply, of course, with the content covered in the course itself.
Okay, cool. Here's one from Jeffrey. Is there a program for Autodesk VARs?
Yes, there certainly is. We have a number of different VARs that are reselling cloudDVDs as well. And I don't know if the question is regarding reselling cloudDVDs, but the answer is yes to that. So VARs, Autodesk VARs can also sell the Retrieve product or the Retrieve cloudDVDs as a training offer. But if the question is more, can a VAR use this training to train its staff? The answer is certainly yes, and that would be treated as a corporate sale where the VAR would do business with Novedge or Retrieve direct.
Cool, excellent. Here's one from Roger. He's on the Retrieve site right now, and mentioned emailing you for pricing. He was just wondering if you could give an average pricing for the course.
Yeah, so there are 2 different pricing models. Again, this presentation was primarily directed to individual or retail customers. And in that sense, on average, and this is very much so an average, but 1 day of training. So let's see here. This new features in the Civil 3 2012. It's a 1-day class if it was done in a classroom setting. So it's 1 volume here. It's approximately $30 per volume SRP from Retrieve. And now at different resellers there will be different pricing. But starting point for if one user bought this one course, they would pay approximately $30. This Civil 3 2012 Essentials Training Series, as you can see, has 3 volumes. So the price is in the $100 or $90 to $100 range for that course. But I want to really highlight that that's what we label as the per copy model, where and it's specifically geared towards individuals buying. If a company wants to buy access for all of that company's users or employees, we have corporate pricing that works a little bit differently. We call that the viewing time model, where the company can buy access to a number of platform viewing hours. So let's say that you have 100 employees and you want to give every employee 10 hours of training. You can buy 1,000 viewing hours from Novedge or Retrieve, and then have the users draw from that or discreetly hand an exact amount of hours out to each user. The users can then, or the administrators at the company have access to all of the available cloudDVDs and can give users access to all of them or to a subset of it, on which the users can then use the hours that were allotted to them, whether it's 5 minutes in one cloudDVD and 9 hours in another, or if it's 30 minutes in this example, 20 different cloudDVDs. And it's content neutral in that sense, and that's the pricing model that seems to be most attractive to corporate users. So for individuals, this is a long answer to a very straightforward question. For individuals, the price is about $30 per equivalent classroom day. And for corporate users, you can buy hours, and the starting point, the SRP for one viewing hour is $10. However, there is dramatic volume discounting. So if you're buying in 1,000 hours, the hourly rate is much less than $10.
Okay, excellent. Here's another one from Jeffrey. He was just curious, what about SolidWorks software classes or other non-AutoDesk CAD apps that you guys
We have some. I would say the majority of the CAD content is on AutoDesk because of our relationship with that company. And specifically in this demo here today, we focus on that, on the AutoDesk software. We have MicroStation software from Bentley, as well as Inroads and Geopack training. We have Google SketchUp training, for example, and we have certainly some other CAD software as well. SolidWorks is one of the ones I believe we do not have any training on, unfortunately. But there certainly is other ones. And this is a good opportunity to mention one thing. Retrieve is a software company first and foremost, and Retrieve is the developer of the Retrieve Technologies Training and Certification Platform, which is what you've seen today. But we partner with consultants and authors and software companies like AutoDesk themselves, for example, and let our author community or our partner community create the content for the platform. This means that if an end user who is, let's say, using AutoCAD and Inventor training wants to see SolidWorks training, you can simply request that from Retrieve or a Retrieve rep. That request is then shopped around our author community, and when there is demand for a specific title, there is hardly ever any problem finding an author that wants to record the training course for that topic. So the content is not built by Retrieve, and this is one of the great advantages of choosing this specifically for corporations, because you're not locked into a relationship with just Retrieve. You get access to our entire author community, which to date is, we have relationships with over 100 different authors that can create both new topics and certainly also more advanced topics on products or topics that already exist. So if you wanted a very customized class on Civil 3D, some aspect of Civil 3D, our author community could create that for you. And for corporate customers, you also have the opportunity to create your own custom cloudDVDs that aren't public or publicly available to anyone else but your company, in which you can include your own proprietary training, documenting your policies and procedures, documenting your drawing templates, let's say, with completely proprietary and custom content for your organization itself. And of course, you can also use a blank cloudDVD, hire an outside consultant, and ask them to create create videos for that cloudDVD instead of coming in and teaching a classroom class. So beyond the content that you've seen on the screen today, for corporate users, you can augment or enhance the content offering with your own custom content and proprietary information. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that was definitely clear. I don't know. We didn't have any other questions so far. If anyone wanted to shoot some more in, we still have about 10 minutes here. If there are questions.
I can also highlight one of the things that I was asked to bring up here. The digital library you're seeing on the screen here right now, all this content that's available in here. If you are purchasing any AutoDesk software from the Novedge site, so the AutoDesk software, an actual copy of AutoCAD or Civil 3D, you get access for a limited time here, access to 5 hours of viewing time for all of the topics that you're seeing on the screen. Not 5 hours for each, but 5 hours total that you can use to view the content in all of these, or whichever you prefer of these various titles. And that's a specific Novedge promo. And maybe, Vince, you want to highlight some more details about that I missed. But
yeah, I'll talk about that in a little bit.
One copy of an AutoDesk. Yeah, great.
I guess no more questions. I just had one quick one. I guess what's the flexibility with like different languages? I mean, say you're a Spanish-speaking user. Is there a way to get a translation or
oh yeah, certainly. Sorry.
By different language versions?
Absolutely. So the interface itself can be translated into these languages here. So if I put this into Spanish mode, there's not on the screen a whole lot of words that are in Spanish, but you can see the search bar and the text here. But if I go in my settings page here, you can see that the interface is now in Spanish, right? Also, if you go into cloudDVDs, a lot of them have subtitles enabled. Let me take a look at when you look at the videos, then in the cloudDVD, you can get subtitles in different languages, and hopefully this is a good example here. Right now, my subtitles are turned off, but if I go, you can see this list of all of these languages, and hopefully this has subtitles available. I guess it didn't. I'm sorry about that, but you can see here for a lot of the cloudDVDs, you have subtitles that will show up on the screen for you. So both the interface can be translated into different languages, and you get subtitles for the videos.
Okay, cool. That's great. So yeah, there were no more questions. I just wanted to switch it over to my screen here, and we'll wrap things up. Or actually, here, we'll get the last one right here. This is one from Perry. Are discounts available for unemployed AutoDesk assistants?
At the moment, I don't believe we have an AutoDesk assistance program add-on available. It used to be, and it's certainly something that we're constantly, discussing with Autodesk themselves. At the moment, I don't believe there's an active campaign running for that, but there may be in the close future, and we have done it in the past. But at the moment, no.
Okay, cool. I'll switch it over to me. And yeah, again, thank you, Oscar. tremendous presentation. I'm sure everyone out there enjoyed it as much as I did. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who attended this presentation of Novedge's Best of the Best webinar series. Just in case you're unfamiliar with us here at Novedge, we're the leading online design software superstore. Not only do we have the best prices around, our staff is extremely knowledgeable. We'd love to chat with you anytime. Again, we have the complete Retrieve AutoDesk line available. There's our product page. It gives you an idea of the pricing that we offer. It is the lowest around. It's the lowest you're going to find for any of the resellers. Additionally, as Oscar mentioned, we are having a promo right now. For every seat of AutoCAD or Autodesk products you buy, you will get 5 free complimentary hours with your purchase. Again, it's, $100 value, and as Oscar said, it's not specific to the Autodesk product you bought. For example, if you buy AutoCAD 2012, you're eligible for training for architecture, 3ds Max, Maya, Civil 3D. So it's definitely a good value. If you're interested, feel free to email either me or our Autodesk specialist, Scott Hester. His email is scott@novedge.com. Yeah, so let us know if you have any questions about that. And then one last thing before we sign off here, I wanted to bring everyone's attention to is WikiCAD. WikiCAD is an online community we've created for CAD users. It's a great resource. You can network and collaborate with other CAD users and professionals across the world. Essentially, we have a huge following there. It's free, easy to join. This webinar will be made available there, so you'll be able to watch it again and again if you need to. We have the latest news, trends, tutorials, all things related to CAD. So it's really a great resource. If you're interested, be sure to check it out. So yeah, having said all that, I don't know if anyone had any other, or Oscar, if you wanted anything to say before we sign off here.
No, I just want to thank everybody for their time, and as I mentioned before, I would gladly give follow-up demonstrations one-on-one, whether it's a question from an individual customer or certainly from corporate customers as well. I can get into all of the administrative functionality and talk about how you can offer your own content, etc. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Novedge, for this opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Oscar. My email's up there, Vince@Novedge. Feel free to get in contact with me. I would love to put you in contact with Oscar to do a little follow-up. But yeah, any other questions you had, feel free to give me a ring. And yeah, for that, I think we'll sign off.